Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Judy, and as you may have noticed, I have a playlist of, I don't know, 90 videos. I'm coming toward the end of sort of what I'm here to offer you. But one video things sometimes pop up, and I had a list of things I wanted to talk about originally, but every once in a while something pops up that I think, I should talk about that too. So let me talk about imagination. It's one of the best things in the world. But before I do, if you wouldn't mind hit that subscribe button and maybe hitting that notification bell for me, I appreciate it. Imagination is the most incredible thing, more incredible than people probably realize. People like Walt Disney, who happens to have been one of my most admired people, knew what imagination was. He imagined things that nobody else could even begin to see. It was like he had eyes in a different world that he could kind of reach into and pull ideas out of. And he was just an incredible human being, which is why I probably love the Disney World so much, because his imagination is painted all through it. Children have wonderful imaginations, and sometimes their imaginations are just so sweet and simple. And other times they are scary. Sometimes they imagine they're talking to people no one else can see. We all have imaginations. Sometimes we don't actively realize we're even using them. Anything you can imagine is real. That sounds kind of crazy, right? But from a soul perspective, imagination is simply considering what you haven't perhaps considered before, or what you haven't seen, or what you haven't felt or thought or done. But imagine you could. And when you imagine you could, guess what? You absolutely can. Imagination appears to be happening in our brains, and it is physiologically. But where do the ideas come from? When we're using our imaginations, we actually are very, very often reaching into the astral plane, into our emotional states, and into our causal plane, our memories. And we can create from those memories and from our emotion magical ideas. And so what you need to understand about imagination is that it really is just another way of thinking about things. It's not impossible stuff. In fact, the more you think about it, the more possible it is. I tell people all the time, one of my very favorite sayings, and I think I said this back in one of the early videos, one of my very favorite little phrases is, your journey follows your attention. That just means that where you put your mind, that is where you will go. And sometimes your mind is simply imagining what could be. I could get a really, really good job, something I love doing. I could meet someone who will be my very best friend for the rest of my life. I could hit the lottery. There's so many things we can think that we want. I could take a world trip for like a whole year and see lots of countries and people and places that I've only dreamed of before. The difference with imagination and the idea of it following, your attention, following or your journey following your attention, is that most people just brush off imagination. They just go, oh, it's just a silly thought, you know, oh, dumb me thinking about stuff like that. I should keep my mind more centered on the reality, you know. What is reality? That's a good video. There's another one popping up, see? When you are committed to your imagination, when you create living thoughts and you decide to pursue whatever you're imagining, it becomes real. It may take a while. You may have to sacrifice a few things here and there. But the very wonder that people have about things that they hope for, you know, your soul can guide you there. But you have to be committed to it. I tell my moms when they're in my classes, you know, you have some moms that say, well, when I go into labor, I really just want an epidural. I don't want to have to deal with the contractions. That's fine. And I have other moms who say, I really, really want to avoid an epidural, and I really want to go as naturally as possible. And that's fine too. But it's not enough just to say that, or to even attend a class, honestly. You have to work it. You know what I mean? You have to be committed to it. If you're not committed to it, it may go a different way. And that's true for the mom with the epidural too. Not everybody can get an epidural, you know? So, when we allow our mind, our logical mind, to sit on the sidelines a little bit and allow our imagination to bring us into a growth state rather than just, you know, thinking of something and letting it go, but thinking of something that we really want or need or whatever. And we put our attention on that and we put our energy into that. We can have anything because your journey follows your attention. Truth is in the commitment. And your soul's helping you the whole time. And so are all those others. Reaching down and giving you a little hand. I just love that hand. So, that's all. I just wanted to let you know that imagination is actually a wonderful part of soul's journey. And you should take advantage of it. Thanks so much for listening. Please hit that like button if you thought I said anything that was worthwhile. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.